To help us sort all of this out, we are joined from Ohio by David Leopold. He's an expert on the issue, an attorney, and the founder of a law firm that represents non-citizens on visa and citizenship matters. Good to see you again. I hear that you were at the White House, met with the president yesterday to discuss the executive order before his speech. Can you describe the meeting for us?
Well, this was a meeting to kind of go over the parameters of this. I will say that the president and my observation was that he was very resolute, very confident. He knows he's doing the right thing. This is a moment that is unprecedented in the sense that, he's using his powers, his lawful powers, to bring 5 million people temporarily out of the shadows, so that they can pay their taxes, so that they can be held accountable, and so that they can live in the open sunlight of American life. So it was a good day. It's a good moment.
Taking them out of the shadows, the U.S. president tried to tug at the heartstrings by telling the story of Astrid Silva. Then he talked about her again today. Let's listen, and then I want to get your thoughts.
Sure.
And grew up believing in America and in her identity as an American, just like Malia or Sasha. And then as she grew up, she found out that she was undocumented, which meant she couldn't do all the things her friends could do.
Of course, last night he got into more detail about all of this, but how many Astrid Silvas are there out there? I mean, you're out there on the front lines. Give us an idea of just how tough it is.
How much time do we have tonight? There are a lot of Astrid Silvas out there. I mean, my client list, and it's unfortunate because they're not they're people living next door to you. They're people that you see in the grocery store. They're your neighbors. They're your friends. We have a broken immigration system. The president has taken a very important first step toward fixing it. He's worked within his authority to make the system work as well as it can work. But you know what? This is just a first step. It's Congress, the United States Congress, that has absolutely, the House of Representatives, that has refused to do anything about it. I listened to John Boehner in the opening here, and you know what? I mean, John Boehner ought to do his job. He was elected to represent the people of his district, and he's now the Speaker of the House. There's a bill, a bipartisan bill, that was passed by the Senate on immigration, which goes a long way toward fixing the system. It's a good bill. It's not perfect. John Boehner won't even allow a vote on it. And we all know that a vote on that bill in the House of Representatives on the immigration bill would pass with Democratic votes and with Republican votes.
And he's from your state of Ohio. But is the president taking the right stance by poking the Republican Party members in the eye right off the bat before they even get here and take over the Senate?
I've heard that from the last couple of days. And I think to myself, how many times has this Republican Congress tried to repeal Obamacare? I can't count how many times. So we're not talking about poking in eyes and this sort of thing. The president has got to lead. And I have a hard time understanding how anybody in Congress can criticize a program that's going to get 5 million people to pay their taxes. That's going to make...
David, I hate to interrupt. We're out of time, but I do want to ask one final question, and you're going to have to be brief. The last time we saw a president tackle immigration reform was back in the 1980s, President Ronald Reagan. Many people said he didn't get it right. Why is it so difficult for people here in the United States to get this issue right?
It's a tough issue. I mean, it's a very tough, it's probably immigration really is about who we are, who we want to be as a country. And how is it going to reflect our values? And I think that's why it's so tough. We are a good people. Americans are good people. And we need a system that reflects that.
David Leopold, thanks so much for joining us from Cleveland, Ohio. Certainly appreciate it.